weeks of Kapuka training and completed many courses such as a driver's course, cook's course, and how to become an admin clerk, which isn't that hard. The highlight for me was driving Unimogs, which are the army trucks, and four-wheel driving in the army. It was simply so much fun. And learning how to back in a trailer was not. I was most definitely challenged, to say the least. Also throughout my time, I learned how to use a rifle, shooting live rounds of ammunition, of course, clean rifles, and do just about anything with a rifle. So that sort of stuff does really push you out of your comfort zone. The PT training was amazing. I got paid to keep fit and healthy, and I also took part in many other activities such as bodybuilding competitions as part of a Defence Force member. I also got to talk about women in the ADF on the radio through the ABC Radio Northern Rivers. In reflection of the similarities between life in the army and a football team, I found there are many parallels. We both sacrifice our physical bodies in the line of duty, as well as our minds. We juggle family commitments, children, our full-time jobs or part-time jobs. We display acts of courage and resilience and strength on and off the field. We also become part of a huge family where we learn life skills, have mentors, feel safe and secure, and a sense of belonging and mateship. For the future, I hope that we see more women enlist into the Army, which provides exciting career opportunities, gender equality, and a uniquely supportive working environment. Is simply meeting a wide range of people and creating and having unique experiences is your thing, as well as enjoying fitness training, I say to give it a go and join up. I also hope we see more women play Aussie rules. As I know, the women of today are strong both physically and mentally. They bring innovative ideas to the table and have great communication and leadership skills, which will help grow the game for both men and women in the sport. So as I close my speech today with a quote, I'll leave you with this. It is our duty as men and women to proceed as though the limits of our abilities do not exist, lest we forget. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Liz Church. Please put your hands together for Liz. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could please be standing, removing our hats for the playing of the last post and a minute's silence. lest we forget. If I could please just introduce Michaela Porger and Taylor Smith at this time to read the oath.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old.
They shall not weary them, nor the years condemn.
At the going down of the sun and in the morning,
We will remember them.
We will remember them, lest we forget. And now, please remain upstanding for the Australian National Anthem. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And now let's get ready for the football.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bond University Oval in Robina. It is Anzac Day and a great welcome to you wherever you're watching
Bond University
around the world.
QAFLW senior team.
My name is Daniel Viles. This is round 2 of the Bond University QAFLW. I'll be joined shortly by Taylor Smith of the Brisbane Lions, who just took part in that ceremony reading the oath with fellow Brisbane Lion Michaela Porger. That's not how you pronounce that. But yes, Stella Iverack will be playing today. This is a match between Bond University, who had a magnificent win last week on this ground against Maroochydore, scoring over 100 points. Coorparoo had a draw to open their season with Aspley. They're a rejuvenated side this year, plenty of new faces, but some very old faces as well. Not least of all, we have two genuine greats of women's Australian football in Australia taking part for the teams today. One of them you just heard mentioned, Leah Kaslar, formerly of Coolangatta, the first woman to co-captain both the Brisbane Lions and the Gold Coast Suns. She's returned to the competition this year for Bond University. Meanwhile, for Coorparoo, Emma Zilke, whose achievements go on a bit, but I'll just say she was first captain of the Brisbane Lions, two-time best and fairest. Two-time best and fairest in this competition, now has the best and fairest named after her, and still playing for Coorparoo. This is her 11th season. I'm now joined by Brisbane Lion Taylor Smith. Taylor, firstly, well done for your the very just what's the word I'm after? Solomon Sirius, well played part in that ceremony.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be a part of a day like today. Obviously, so important to our country, and yeah, it's lovely to be here.
Bond University Oval. This is probably the changeover in the Bond University side since last season as such. I can't imagine there's ever been a Bond University QAFLW side with fewer ex-teammates of yours.
Yes, it's hard to... it's going to be hard with names, I think, because usually I've not had too much problem. I've known everyone, and yeah, there's lots of new faces, lots of girls who came through the Suns Academy when I spent a bit of time there too, so still familiar faces, but yeah, bear with me on names today.
That's fine. It's I'll take the bulk of the work. I can embarrass myself in front of a lot of people, Taylor, just and I'm under instructions today not to deafen you, mainly my own as well. After doing it twice last year, and I'm hoping Taylor's history is fine. Let's go to someone who you do know. You've played under Emma Zielke. I obviously am in awe of the woman off the field. What is she like to play under and train under?
She's just an all-round incredible person. She's inspiring on the field, inspiring off the field. She works hard day in, day out. Actually very lucky to still get to see her quite often around the club. She's playing a really important role within the academy at the moment and has a bit of involvement in the men's space as well. So she loves her footy, she loves her teammates, and yeah, working sort of under her, watching her sort of grow every year as well in a captaincy role was incredible. She's, yeah, can't fold her.
And moving to the other side, number 36, she's just got the ball at the moment, disposing the warm-up, Leah Kaslar. I think she was at the Suns when you were there as well, so you've got a bit of experience there, and I'm guessing that you as an attacker and her as a defender, there might have been the odd QAFLW challenge against Cooley where you might have faced up against her as well. Tell me a little bit about your experience of Leah Kaslar.
Much the same. Leah is someone who just works so incredibly hard, and definitely we've matched up against each other a few times, even just at training when I did spend some time at the Suns. She's just puts her head over the ball. She's a go-getter. She works extremely hard. Another great leader and a great role model in the AFLW space, and someone that these girls will definitely be very privileged to play alongside.
I won't put you under pressure, but just in case you have played alongside her, Bond University had a 98-point win over Maroochydore last week, and Maroochydore, of course, beat UQ on Saturday night in gale force winds up at Maroochydore. But number 4, Tara Harrington, 17 years old. I have never seen a player on QAFLW debut run a midfield as well as she did. She's just catching the ball now in the warm-up, a very sure right foot, 17 years old, comes out of Burleigh. If you've come across her, Taylor, then feel free to getting a no on that score. So
no, I haven't seen much of Tara's football, but I did hear about the success she had last week in the midfield, so I'm super, super excited to see what she can bring today against a side that has a lot of experience. So it will be really, really good to see how she goes today. And
just to single out someone else from the Coorparoo side as well, let's go straight to the ruck. If you're a netball fan, I'm just going to mention the name Stacey Francis Bayman. And if you're thinking, hang on, isn't she English? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's played 73 netball internationals for England. But Beck Randazzo knows everyone in the Anglosphere, really. She knows everyone on the planet. And she's in between Queensland Firebirds commitments. She's managed to get Stacey Francis Bayman into the Bond University QAFLW as a ruck. We have one late change to the Bond University side, Sky White, who was to be taking Francis Bayman on in the ruck. She's been scratched and replaced by another debutante, number 61, Paige Dunstan. So congratulations to Paige, making your debut. Also making their debut today for Bond University, the Usher sisters, Ava and Alira. They're both from Burleigh Juniors, and also Eva Reeves from Burleigh as well. 7 changes to last week's side. They've had to ring them because of requirements for the AFLW Winter Series and also the Lions and Suns Academy matches. But you mentioned a lot of the experience in the Coorparoo side, Taylor, and a couple of people who have been around a long time in this competition who I know you'll have opinions about. But tell me about Sally Young and Ari Riley, who Sally usually in the centre of the park, Ari at the back, and I believe she's had a fair bit to do with the Lions as well, probably more in the academy space rather than where you've been. But yeah, given they've been around so long, what do you see in the opposition when you've got Sally and Ari on the field?
I think, especially for someone like Sally, she's a real general for Coorparoo. Controls, calms, and is just such a staple player for them. Like I said, she can control that thing and bring everyone back to level when things are stressful. And I definitely think when Sally's playing, her footy smarts come into play as well.
I can't argue with that. And I will say now, about a decade younger than Sally, but to me there was one player in the Bond University side last year who, her game increased, I think, 2 levels in one season, and she became more like, she was always at the bottom of the ruck. And just so you can prepare your thoughts, I'm telling you, I'm talking about Courtney Sexton. And then last year she worked out how to play that sort of more playmaker role by hanging behind the contest and starting to direct traffic. And she's only 24, but she now finds herself in the older half of the Bond University squad. But no, I'm interested in your thoughts on Courtney Sexton on the field, because she's probably developed a lot more since you finished playing with her, actually.
Absolutely. I remember watching a game last season and just thinking how incredibly far she'd come in such a short space of time. She played a little bit of football previously as well, but I would still consider her fresh to football, considering her age and where she's at, and moving from forward to midfield. I think she's very well suited in the midfield. She's a ground ball, hard ball get kind of player, and again, someone who is also really great for culture, amazing off the field, on the field, and I think that plays a bigger role than people think when it comes to a midfield.
I still can't get the difference between how fierce she is on the field and how sweet she is off the field. There's a very big gap between on-field Courtney Sexton and off-field Courtney Sexton. And
I don't even think you could call it white line fever, because even though she seems a bit fierce, she's not overly like white line feverish.
No, she's not dirty. She's not
grubby. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. No.
It's it looks to me, unfortunately, women's captains aren't as arrogant as men's captains. When a men's captain wins the toss, they run backwards and do a really strong point towards the goal. But Paris Lightfoot, I believe she won the toss, and she will be heading to the right of your screen, which is the western end of this ground. This is one of the 2 east-west facing grounds in the Bond University QAFLW. For some reason, the 2 university sides like to be a little bit different. So we are in fact on the northern side of the ground. We're only expecting about 1 to 5 mils of rain today, and I think we're getting most of them now. The temperature was 21 a few minutes ago. It's probably dropped a bit now, and there will be winds from the southeast, which, if you just look sort of across the camera and to your left, there's a few sort of pointed hat marquees over there, basically coming from over those back towards the camera. So Coorparoo still in their huddle at the western end of the ground. Now, Taylor, if I have to make a goose of myself every week, you can too. Your prediction for this game, give me a margin as well, and of course I won't hold you to it, and the fact that this is on the internet forever does not mean that you'll be held to it at all.
I think, considering the weather and being wet early, it's going to be a very, very tight contest. Bond University have had a very strong start to the season. I might be a little biased being a Sharky myself, but I think Bond University will take this one by a small margin. I'm going to say maybe around 15 points.
She says Bond by 15. I'll back you up and take the bias out of it. I'll say Bond by 12, because I just think they're extra pace around the ground. But this is the inaugural Anzac Day fixture in the Bond University QAFL. Frances Bayman plays the 1-2 with Hannah McLaughlin in the middle of the field. Cooper able to get it forward. Hutton cleaning up back towards her own 50. Comes wide, was going out towards Baldwick, who hit 2 goals in a minute last week. Iverack just getting a bit of a friendly fire, well, not friendly fire, opposition fire around the neck. Baldwick on the bottom of the pack. McLaughlin challenging with Sexton. That's going to be a key battle today. I think it's been called for an incorrect disposal. Bond University have the free kick. We'll get thoughts from Taylor Smith soon when there's a longer gap. Inside 50. Tarleton flies, doesn't come down with what she wanted. Iverack over the top, sets up the marking contest. Dropped by Laura Blue. That's because the ball is wet. Taya Oliver comes out wide to Schneider, up from the Western Bulldogs VFLW program. Past win, taken by Lightfoot, well, at the second attempt. Good support work from Hutton. I often say good support work from Hutton. It happens rather a lot. Through the contest, we're inside 50. Schneider finds the captain in Young. Educated left boot, not so educated, kicks it to Paris, who she met at the toss, thought, here, have a ball. Just taken back by sorry, that was Bisher, then on to Johnson, the Northern Territorian. Into Iverack, and she's taken by Jess Watts, formerly of Surfers Paradise. Umpire leaving play to go on a fair while, eventually calling for pushing, free kick Bond.
I think Bond have already started to play towards the conditions, soccering off the ground, just moving the ball forward as quickly as possible. I think that's quite smart by them.
Bit more heights, maybe not today, but in the Bond squad this year. And last year they got caught out a couple of times in the wet, just didn't have enough muscle up front. Good on the lead, taken in wet conditions by Tarleton.
Coorparoo really left that forward line open and gave Lily Tarleton just a really easy run at that footy. So I think going forward, Coorparoo should just try and fill those spaces and not allow for those easy leads.
And I'm told by Andy Lovell that Tarleton's training over the off-season has been first class, and she's now in the leadership group at Bond for the first time. She has the first shot on goal. It's just a question of distance. It was touched in front of the line, and then Ivarak is able to create the rest. In fact, there hasn't been called a behind. Sorry, I lost my bearings. And oh, free kick in front of the... I'm going to shut up for a moment. Okay, the ruck is formed. Taken by Harrington. Harrington soccering it through, just hit the post. She doesn't need much, Tara Harrington. My very wet sheet of paper now has a marking for a behind on it. Coorparoo playing out down the southern side of the ground. Ayla Fraser, correction. Dropped in wet conditions by Mackenzie Farmer, who had an excellent debut in the middle of the park last week. Tackle from Jess Watts. Taylor on the far side, up for Nyeronga. Young goes for soccer, realises she's better at Aussie rules. Again, the work on the ground from Farmer. Hacked forward from Bond towards Ivarak. Had Federhugic, Blue charging the other way. Got a messy handball to Fraser. Fraser up towards Frances Bayman. She uses her size well. The kick completely clean bowls Hutton. Win in the middle of the field. Some good shepherding in the middle. Win's able to play through. Getting it up towards the front 50. Goes towards Govan. Govan tried to soccer. She soccers about as well as Sally Young. Good clean up at the back. Taken by Kaslar. If there's someone you want to clean up at the back, Kaslar's not a bad choice. Playing up the left towards Hutton. She was able to keep her feet ahead of Schneider. Bit of confusion. Eventually they got there and Hutton's able to have a second effort. The intercept mark dropped by Riley. Sexton cleaning up at the back. Some good shepherding work. Excellent pace from Ava Usher on debut in number 18, wearing Michaela Paunga's number. Through to Nolan. Oh, if Nolan had held that, she was probably through. Tarleton in support. They've got the 2-on-1 Bond, but the fumbling meant numbers got back. Sexton found Nolan again. Brilliant last week against Maroochydore. Good work from the Coorparoo defence to knock players off the ball. Baldwick was working well. Found McLaughlin, not able to hold it. That ball is soap right now. Frances Bayman with the tackle, couldn't hold on. Nolan, Sexton. They're attacking by lack of height. Usher, Ava Usher, through the middle. That was a clever pass to Harrington. Harrington has a little bit of space, bit off more than she could chew. Free kick Coorparoo.
These conditions are almost worse than when it's actually pouring. It's a bit more greasy rather than... I think when it's even raining worse, it's actually easy to pick up off the ground. It's almost a little stickier. These are a bit greasy conditions.
So from the back, Federhugic, whose first name is pronounced Isla, as distinct from Ayla Fraser. Samuels. This is her second game in top grade, I believe. Her first game was in a preliminary final last year. Baldwick tackling well on the side, as Wynn. Wynn looked excellent in pre-season. Finds Watts at halfback. Good front position from Lightfoot. None of these girls can play soccer. I think they should stick to the oval ball game. And if you think that's hypocritical coming from me, it's because it is. Young ran into Johnson. I think there was a head clash. Johnson will win the free kick. At least I thought she'd win the free kick. Possibly been given to Coorparoo for high contact.
Call them off, make the change.
But the head clash definitely occurred, and they're never fun.
I think Bond University's backline has done well to stay playing in front. Likewise for Coorparoo, they've sort of adjusted now and are playing in front of the forwards.
Probably more experience in the back lines for both clubs. McLaughlin makes it inside 50 for Coorparoo, but it is wide. Good work at the back from Kaslar, as though she produced anything else. Sexton just tackled off it. Back inside. 52 was Piper Phelan at the back. Apologies for the delay. Baldwick in the blue headgear, chasing across. Able to be taken by Charlotte Taylor. Over the back, good body position from Federhugic behind Harrington. And that is a good battle. In the end, the boundary umpire will have a chance with the slippery ball. A good tussle. As I just destroyed the furniture, apologies. Francis Bayman versus Dunstan. Dunstan does well, got the hand over the back. Came through to Alira Usher in 38. Through to Megan Evans, 50th game for Coorparoo. Congratulations on that milestone, Megan Evans. Johnson, inside 50. And again, as Taylor Smith pointed out, the backs tend to be getting the front position at both ends of Bond University Oval. Della tackled, ball up. Inside 50, pretty much a neutral ruck. One hit to the other. Sexton at the bottom of the contest. 'Twas ever thus. Will be tough work for the rucks today as Coorparoo just able to bash it forward. Until Bond through Samuels, then back inside 50. Nearly fell to Nolan. Fraser has to work hard. Nolan's got speed, created space for Harrington. Couldn't get the hand pass through to Ava Usher. Absolutely flattened Tay Oliver at the back. This is fierce. Both sides throwing their body at the contest. The attacking free kick to Bond. Sorry, Taylor.
A little bit of aggression in that one. Gave away the free kick.
I'm guessing as a coach you don't mind early in the game that kind of free kick being given away. But this is Farmer with a shot on goal. It's going to fall short. Tarleton. I don't think she thought she was in the right position, but she ended up being so.
Who are you waiting for? Ari.
Always important for the full forward to hang around on the line there. You never know sort of what happens in that goal square.
When Taylor Smith talks about full forward play, I shut up and listen. So Tarleton on a tight angle. But she's worked hard over the off-season. She was a pretty good player before that anyway. A mainstay of this competition and a goal scorer on Anzac Day 23. A slice of history for Lily Tarleton.
And there's a goal to Bull Sharks, number 56, Lily Tarleton.
I'll have to train him not to say Tarlington during the break. But I think you sustained pressure in the front 50, and in the end they benefited from, well, really two Coorparoo errors. One was giving away the free kick, and the second one was maybe not getting in the right position at the after Farmer's free kick. But no, Bond knew where they wanted to be.
Yeah, they're just really playing a territory game, and I think that that's working for them in this weather. Coorparoo is showing glimpses of that, and it'll be interesting to see how they go as the game opens up.
We'll see how the wind goes today. I think Garton took over in the ruck. Taylor from the middle. Good acquisition from Yeronga. Fierce attack on the contest, but it's going to go through to Harrington. Thought she had it. The tackle was fierce. On that occasion, that was Grace Roberts-White, who's moved to Coorparoo from the Morningside Juniors. There'll be a ball up outside 50 and a little bit of aggression on the ground. Tempers fraying slightly between Dunstan on debut and Arlafeta Hugic. Good work from Coco Garton, who's moved into the ruck. Excellent defensive mark from Tay Oliver. Oliver heads south into the gap. There was Lightfoot. Towards the 50. Bit of movement off the ball, and I think the umpires spotted that and will pay the free. Coorparoo chance to clear. Feta Hugic. Been at Coorparoo a few years, but missed an entire season due to injury. It was 2021, came back last year. Went through the hands of Emma Zilke. It's not something I say often. It's a long run, but Coorparoo able to get inside 50. But they've been able to cause a 2-on-1 in the defence. Kaslar working well with Evie Reeves on debut. And Bond diffused the danger. Superb organisation at the back.
It's really good just to find control of the ball there, find a mark and reset.
Given away, but the tackle affected. I believe that's Alira Usher on debut. To be able to track Grace Roberts-White, both young players, but that was a tackle that needed to be made in the final third. Outer zone umpire has spotted something, and it will be a free kick to Coorparoo. Another chance to attack to Megan Evans. Evans inside 50, was looking for Wynn. Wynn gets there ahead of Lightfoot. Lightfoot was there, but just went slightly high, got around the shoulders. Unusual for Lightfoot. Her tackling technique is normally copybook. Chelsea Wynn. Wynn heading towards the hot spot. Just went over the head of Govan and others. The work at the back, yes, pulled off the ball was, I believe, Bisher. Just as she was about to gather. Oh, flying effort from Ivorak. Wasn't able to come down with it. Sits on 50 games worth of experience in Evans. Coorparoo running into trouble. A few poor decisions being made on the run by both teams. Bond able to play out. There's some good thumping feet in this side. Harrington overruns it. Good work from either Garton or Galt. Some apologies. Inside, went through the several fingers. Nolan trying to put a tackle on. Federhugic has been busy early. Looking up the back. Bond University able to thump it through Jasmine single. Second single, coming back inside. Not able to get it was Nolan. Nolan in enough space. Lammin was tracking back very quickly. Good work off the ground from Schneider. Schneider playing a lot more centrally than her named position would suggest. Zilke. Excellent through to Schneider. They go inside 50 again. Haven't really had a proper shot though. At the back, Phelan. This is her third year of first grade football, Piper Phelan. She looks more comfortable each year. That's a lovely mark in the conditions. And then the desire to play on from Jasmine Single, who forgot she wasn't quite as quick as her sister, got herself in trouble.
She's actually been rewarded for a high tackle there, so...
Oh, beg your pardon, thank you.
Ball will go back to Bond now. Just see the composure of Emma Zilke in that contest there, and the instructional, directional chat from her. Really helping her teammates start to set up better through the midfield and turning the ball over a bit more.
Yet few less ruffled. Federhugic drops the mark. Nolan, just had it kicked out from underneath her. Bit of a rush of blood, and that's good umpiring. Well positioned. Nolan with a free kick. Doesn't quite come off the good part of the boot, and clean bowls Della. Onto the wing, goes back to Zielinski. Her first year at Coorparoo. Boundary throw-in. Just going back to the single family, was Lucy the quickest at Bond in your day?
Probably.
Right.
She's a very hard one to catch. Once the ball, and same with Jazz, once the ball gets in their hands out in the wing, it's hard to stop them.
Yes, being the second fastest single doesn't mean you're slow. Free kick to Coorparoo on the southern side. Back to Schneider. Big boot to the centre of the field. Falls to Lammin. Played for Morningside in the QAFLW last year. Zilke with the tackle. Knocked it loose. No prior opportunity, or possibly called a disposal. Johnson. Calm hand pass, but maybe a little bit too calm. Roberts-White. Outnumbered at the contest. So needed a bit more. She did well against 3 Bull Sharks, but maybe needed a bit more support. Frances Bayman joins her. Hutton. Inside finds Nolan. Long way from home. She plays through the middle. That was a good attempt at an intercept from Oliver. Ivorak underneath. She's strong in the contest. Handball to Lammin. Lammin thumps it. At the back, over the back of Lightfoot. The foot race is on. Garton rather. Garton doing well. That was kicked out from underneath her. Called legal. That's just missed to the side from Bonnie Farrell, who's come down from the Curra Swans. Cooper on the board.
That was much better by Cooper in the forward line. They got numbers to the contest and were really able to fight for that one.
And ironically started by Grace Roberts-White on the far side, who didn't have numbers in the contest but was able to fight hard. Bond playing out. Good effort at the mark from Ava Usher. And then Usher following through herself. Riley coming through. Oh, triple effort from Ava Usher. That's fantastic from a teenager. Well intercepted by Zielinski. Zielinski settling, taking her time. Laura Blues come up from the left. Hesitated, put herself under a little bit of pressure, but still makes it inside. 50! Dropped by Farrell. Goes through to Bisher. Bisher plays it out. She's capable of a big thump. That wasn't one of them. strong tackle in the contest, knocked it loose. I believe that was Iverack in the number 9 jersey. Roberts White got a late hit. Was it seen? Not seen, allowed to play on. Johnson goes back, swept on by Evans. Johnson with a double effort.
Setup of Coorparoo's backline now is really improved, and they're able to turn that ball over and sort of lock it in their forward half.
And that's Riley Francis Bayman in the ruck. Felty Young through to Watts. Short, good diving attempt at a mark. Was unlucky that it didn't stick. And it was off the side of the boot from Chelsea Wynn. Goes centrally, Bond able to clear. Della is first to it. Gets through her. Feta Huggett racking up the possessions. Back inside to Wynn. Tried the assist to Evans, and just a little bit of lack of attack on the ball momentarily from Coorparoo. Watts put under pressure from Jasmine Single, apologies. And Single able to boot out, but not with any great direction. Feta Huggett again. Farmer, who's moved forward of the contest. Good work on that occasion from Dunstan. And Johnson clears. Blue fumbles. Blue versus Tarleton. That's worth the price of admission. Blue, who has played a lot of soccer. That'll go out in the full. And I think Lily Tarleton can take credit for that one.
It was a great one-on-one effort by Blue there to tap it on the ground, get it out, be sure of it, pick it up. It's unfortunate it went out the forward, but just a small skill error, probably due to conditions.
And one of the many things I like about Laura Blue is that she can kick pretty well just as far with the left foot. Team of the Year in the Bond University QAFLW last year, and I'm sitting next to a former best and fairest winner. Just timed her run slightly wrong to call it an Emazilke medal. Johnson. Won't quite reach the... That's wonderful. That's one of the best marks you'll see in these conditions from Ava Usher on Boo.
Ava Usher's been quite a skillful player from a young age. I remember attending training session for... I think she might have been under 13s, under 14s, and was a massive standout skill-wise at that age as well.
I quite believe you, and Laura Blue showing a bit of skill at the back herself. Finds Schneider, playing at left half-back at the moment, skillful, gets past Harrington, through to Zielinski. Zielinski under a lot of pressure from Sexton. Most players up against Sexton find themselves under a lot of pressure. Inside to Riley. Coorparoo have an opportunity to settle.
Clever by Coorparoo to switch at that opportunity. It really had Bond on the back foot.
And Watts, last year captained Surfers Paradise to Premiership glory in the next division down. Baldwick didn't go 15. She's told to play on. Not a bad thump on her. Falls in the breadbasket of Emazilke. Zilke looking for an option. Sees that Governs ahead of the contest. For one moment, I thought Emazilke was going to have a Goal of the Year nomination at the age of about 34.
I've just realised that she's playing in the forward line. And the whole time I've known Emazilke, she's only ever played in the back line. And she's doing quite well up forward. I guess you do learn how to read the ball really well when you play defence for so long, so I guess you'll bring that skill in and bring that in for Coorparoo, probably something that they don't have, haven't shown as much at the start. So yeah, good to have someone who can read the flight of the ball there.
I'll put Emazilke anywhere. So quarter time here at Bond University Oval. Bond 1-1-7 with a goal to Lily Tarleton lead. Coorparoo 2 behinds. We'll see you for the second quarter in about 3 or 4 minutes. Oh no, but Taylor was talking through the quarter. There was no sound in the headphones.
I don't know if there is or not, if I can hear you just because of that, or... I'm not really sure. It's not bad, I can hear fine.
I had these headphones on before, I was like, are you sure?
Oh, it probably is, I probably can. I'm just not sure if it's...
Oh no, actually it is cutting it out. So I just had to turn on there, that's interesting.
been dating my brother for like 3.5 years.
Cool.
So she lives with us now. Yeah.
So you can't get rid of her if you want to.
She was my best friend first, so.
Yes. So, she always looked like someone decent person.
Oh yeah.
So, I saw her there and thought, oh, I'm going to have a chat. So.
Busy, very, very busy. I've been travelling, so I travelling and then got back and did my final uni placement. So I'm about to submit my final assignment. Oh, can't wait.
Really? Why? So
I've been at uni for too long.
yes.
It's so bad because I'm already like, what am I going to do next? I've been literally looking at like doing a master's in
Yes.
communication or journalism, so I completely left
Oh,
field.
sure, yeah.
Just to do more like social media, like media and commentating and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't, I don't know. I think I need a break from it, to be honest.
I'm guessing that you didn't have a gap year from high school to
No, I've been at uni for 5.5
There
years.
you go. You may need one now, so.
I'm having time off. That's why I went travelling. Like, so I was just like, I need to do something.
I think I follow you on Instagram, but I also follow Shannon, who's also been travelling, and I have a feeling I'm getting all mixed up in my head.
Shannon Dankin?
Yes,
She
yeah.
was doing Europe, I think.
That's right.
Me and Dee Haysop went and did the East Coast of America.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
So
It's just
my sheet kept blowing over.
I know.
So
I
it
know.
was.
I need to have a look and see if they ended up emailing me the sheet because I keep trying to say people's names and I have no idea what they are.
And sorry about that. They probably did. It's on my. Actually, now that it's not raining, I can probably set up my laptop and you can have
That was horrible. But
a little squall there. Yeah. So, thank you. No, I appreciate that. Now the goal umpire is going back. When both teams have sort of broken away, we'll get back in. Just so I say that loud. Once we remember what time we're about to start on the grand final day, I went big, turned around to see your reaction, and you were wincing in pain. I thought I was spoiled the moment for her. So I've been working hard over the summer on finding different ways of sort of generating excitement and all the rest of it. So, congratulations, you can change for now, Taylor Smith. So. You are your own. No one in here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Quarter time at Bond University Oval, the inaugural Anzac Day match in this competition between Bond University and Coorparoo. It's wet, it's slippery, but it has, at least the rain has stopped, so hopefully we will see a bit more free-flowing ball. But it's 7 points to 2, the 1 goal to Bond University. Full forward, Lily Tarleton. My name's Daniel Viles, with me is Brisbane Lion Taylor Smith. You know this ground as well as anyone, Taylor. How well does it drain? Are we going to see some cleaner football in the next 20 minutes?
I think the conditions are going to stay dewy, to be honest. Bond, I actually think, does drain very well and is pretty good to play on in the wet. However, the conditions are just, I think it's going to be on and off, it's going to be dewy, and it's just going to rain that way.
The Sexton gets the first clearance. Bond University running to your right. Fraser did well. McLaughlin hacking it out. That's a good pickup with a dewy ball from Jacinta Baldwick. Played with Sherwood last year. Very successful club in the QAFLW. Told to get on with it. Goes through the middle. Sally Young. Big effort against Mackenzie Farmer. Through lovely reading of the play from Johnson. Farmer again. Ran into Schneider. Was able to get the fist to a clever play. Hutton. Was that high against Watts? Yes, it was. So free kick Hutton.
Yeah, much better start by Coorparoo that quarter. Playing in front, finding marks. Really good.
Hutton showing that the ball can slip off the foot as well as the hands. Sexton goes wide, rigging the changes. Find Harrington, who was centre last week, but with the return of Sexton half forward this week. Riley in good position. And that composure at the back that Taylor Smith was talking about means, just unfortunately dropped, but then the opportunity fell to Johnson. Johnson, Harrington, tight angle, went for the short shot, well read by Blue, boundary throw in. The wind is strong without being gale-like, not really favouring either side. It's more of a cross breeze. Bond Uni on the attack. Francis Bayman tried to backheel it. Trying to crash through the pack rugby union style was Harrington. And it will just be a ball up, about 15 from goal.
Harrington coming off a little sore after that contest.
Plenty of bravery. She'll learn to protect her body more as she gets older. Schneider went back, was looking for Watts. Outnumbered. We have a whistle, kicked out on the full. And Coorparoo perhaps lucky to get it out of danger there. Zielinski looking a little bit worse for wear, but she's up and running about. Through Zilke, not able to hold on to it, but gets a good bounce and stays in. Johnson, tackled by Zilke, creates a turnover to Young. I could be commentating in 2013. Give me a time machine? No, will. Wind definitely picking up. We were told it could be up around the 30k an hour mark. Don't think we're there, but it's definitely starting to have an effect, as you can probably hear in the microphone. Knocked back from Moody. Bit of a slipping on the ground, just an unfortunate time, but Bond University, no, they are under pressure. It did kill the momentum. Farmer on the ground wrestling away, Baldwick and win for Coorparoo. That's a brilliant little steal in the tackle from Taylor.
That's great, just driving the legs, trying to burst through that contest.
A lot of young players in the Bond side, but then you got players in their late 20s like Charlotte Taylor and Grace Moody. Fell through to Sally Young, courtesy of Francis Bayman. Up to Grace Moody, previously mentioned. Trying to get around Bonnie Farrell. Farrell did well, the disposal was there. Through to Garton. Picked up by Kaslar at the back. Who would have thought Kaslar would be in the perfect position? Comes out to Hutton. The hand pass was from Moody. Hutton. Such a great kicking technique. Bit of friendly fire from Bond. Lovely set from Feta Huggage. Outside of the boot. Went for the banana, and I think she got a kiwi fruit.
Just exceptional pressure by Bond. There was 3 of them, but staying composed and just pressuring that Coorparoo player towards the boundary and then force it out.
So Farmer comes laterally over the back of her opposite number, McLaughlin. Crashing through is Zilke. Handball away to Young. Young, for once, doesn't kick it perfectly. Hutton, had it kicked underneath it from Watts. Umpire allows it to play on. The tackle from Watts was just starting to slip up, but it will be called a ball up, and I think probably a 50-50. Francis Bayman, good hit, just partially blocked by Dunstan. Sexton on the ground, McLaughlin. That's called. Sexton was deemed to have had an opportunity she didn't take. McLaughlin, formerly at the Suns Academy. Keeps it wide, finds Lamon. Couldn't hold on to it. Bit of dancing from Lamon, finds Wynn. Wynn goes inside 50, touched in flight. That's a lovely mark at the back from Kaslar. Of course, not a mark. And then that is such a netballer's mark. Look at the hands technique. Francis Bayman. It's not a bad kick for a netballer. Sorry if that sounds patronising. Zielinski. Zielinski gets it forward. There's numbers in the contest. Weren't not quite able to hold on to it. Second opportunity. That's wonderful tackling at the back. Bond win the free kick. Lightfoot and Bisher take a bow.
It's actually quite smart to switch the ball in that situation. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but put it out into space and allowed it a forward 50 entry.
I'm guessing, I think if Jeff Newman was here, wet day, taking grass becomes more important.
Absolutely.
So Bond able to clear the 50, not quite diffuse the danger, but you've got Kaslar at Lightfoot at the back. My goodness. Not quite the all-star backlines that included people like Lulu Puller and Crystal Scott, but it's pretty good. Lovely kick forward from Jasmine Single. In fact, she kicked the wrong way. I apologise. Just a brain fade from Jasmine Single there, unless I... Did I see that correctly, Taylor?
I'm not entirely sure. I was kind of watching what was going on, sort of how they were setting up here.
Well, in that case, you were doing your job and I wasn't doing mine, so we're good.
I've just noticed Coorparoo's got a spare out the back now, which is new for them this quarter.
It's Baldwick in the blue headgear.
She's charged through the contest there.
Well done.
Smart to hold out because she was unmanned.
Gets the kick away. There's 2-on-2 at the back, but the two for Bond were Moody and Lightfoot. Unfortunately, Moody's kick was slightly errant, and I believe it's out on the full. But no, good pick up on Baldwick, Taylor. And I've misread it, not out on the full. I thought I saw the look of anguish from Charlotte Taylor giving herself away. From Grace Moody, rather. Frances Bayman hit it straight to Phelan. Phelan spun in a tackle. That's a good effort from her. Over the top, Nolan was coming back. Baldwick. And then coming the other way. Yes, just got hands to it. So Bond able to advance down that southern side. But intercept mark. Feta Huggich again. She's been impressive in defence.
Exceptional, just playing in front every time, and it's really paying off for her.
Getting experienced herself now into her mid-20s, I believe. Baldwick, more noticeable in the blue headgear. That's a good tackle. Not going to be paid. No, ball up on the far side.
Nolan, number 3 for Bond University, has done a great job at sort of bringing that forward 50 pressure as well as just that forward pressure. As a forward, it's really important that you are able to push up and apply that pressure on the back of stoppages. I think she's doing that exceptionally well.
In good form, Nolan was exceptional last week as Evans kicks it into an opponent, flirting with the boundary line, but able to be hacked forward by the Bull Sharks. Up towards Della. Good hand pass, was just behind Nolan, who adjusted well. The run and carry from Bond is exceptional. Wonderful support play. Didn't quite land in the arms of a teammate, but they'll get a single point out of this, and that's not really wind assisted either. Margin out to 1 goal clean. But I do love that fluent play when there's good support play. And you'll see that from both Gold Coast sides this year as Evans intercepts. Looking for Lamon. She was behind Sexton. You should not get beaten in a marking contest by Courtney Sexton, with all due respect. Baldwick ended up just hacking it off the ground. Moody got there ahead of Wynn. The handball near to McLaughlin. She fumbles over the boundary line.
Again, both teams just setting up so well compared to the first quarter. I think that heat's been taken out of it now and everyone's sort of getting back to their game style.
Be interested to see if there was any sort of emotional change caused by the Anzac ceremony as well. Well, more on that in a moment. Coorparoo needing to clean up at the back. Feta Huggich eventually got there, overran it initially, finds Schneider in space. Just a rare lack of pressure from Bond. Finds Zilke, and eventually it's Reeves who stands on the mark, but Zilke got the lead on her quite easily. Finds Young. That's 3 Zilke to Young passes I've seen today, and I feel like I'm in a time machine. Plays across, but hits into the gap. I think she was looking for Zielinski to run onto that. Baldwick cleaned up. Baldwick through the middle, looking for Lamon. That's a good little intervention from Kazlar. Hacked forward again, but this will be a comfortable mark inside 50 from guess who? Paris Lightfoot.
It's becoming a real trademark of Paris Lightfoot over the years, just being able to drop off her play like that and intercept comfortably.
Oh, the Bond University production of great halfbacks just never seems to stop. And they're able to push forward now. Coorparoo have got the numbers. Feta Huggich given some space by Zielinski. And she's able to clear, but not convincingly, can only find Single. And one of the great features of playing here at Bond is you get the University bells as Taya Oliver intercepts inside 50, across to Fraser, all very comfortable. Tempo football. Overcooks that kick, nearly gave it away to Hutton. Zilke, composed, breaks the attempted tackle of Reeves. Inside for Frances Bayman. Her athleticism is impressive. Looking to the forward 50 towards Govan. Good effort from Bisher at the back, was able to keep it in front to Phelan. Hutton fumbles towards Lamon. Coorparoo numbers not at the contest. Bond maybe getting numbers to the contest a little more regularly. Single on her own in the middle of the field. Federhugic coming forward, at least forcing the possession. And it probably wasn't the greatest kick, although Tarleton's made great effort to it. Got there ahead of Oliver until Oliver got a good bounce. Disposal called. Nolan just needs to pick it up. Well done by Taya Oliver. Got herself into trouble before, rewarded with the second effort. Not the greatest kick though, gives Bond another opportunity. Not kicked in danger. Around the body from, I think, Della. And now Coorparoo have numbers at the contest. Zielinski broke 2 tackles, nearly got caught by a third. Another chance for Bond through Dunstan.
Coorparoo just seem to have numbers back now and landing that defensive 50 really well.
Dunstan inside 50. Good use of the body. Federhugic is complaining about hands in the back, but that was a legitimate bump. And on debut, Ava Usher. One of the Burleigh Junior production line. Goal umpire moving to his left. She'll get other opportunities.
The wind is starting to pick up now, so it's going to be important to keep that ball a little bit lower when passing, hitting those short 45s, but also having a set shot.
You've almost got to kick sort of either through or under the breeze, really, sometimes, don't you? Does everyone like the way I just tried to explain goal kicking to Taylor Smith? Yeah, I thought you'd enjoy it. So Coorparoo playing out at Bond University Oval. Caitlin Zielinski, very comfortable. Oh, just maybe didn't need to be quite so offended at the tackle from her opponent. Through to Watts. Normally takes those, but the ball is greasy. Looking for Francis Bayman. Ended up being taken by Sexton. Good idea. That's a wonderful pick-up from Nolan. Very clean below the knees these days. Tarleton beats one. Needed to get the hand pass away. Didn't quite work. Finds Della. Didn't go to Alira Usher. Opportunity not gone. Through the middle went Reeves. Just the soap is winning at the moment. Federhugic, even her error. Just no team's able to get 2 good possessions away in a row. Federhugic will have a crack at it. Lands in space. Fell well for Hutton. She did well to dispose under pressure. Harrington had Evans on her straight away. There's going to be a ball up 25 from goal.
Can I get somebody like the next rotation from another line?
With a dry ball, Bond would be in there, but be a completely different game. So adding hypotheticals to hypotheticals. Cleared by Evans. Just dropped by Johnson outside. Galt ran into trouble. Didn't really have prior opportunity. Farmer trying to furrow. Then out the back comes Garton. Pressure on the kick, puts it straight down the throat of Alira Usher. Looking for options up front. Has a bit of a trundle, possibly looking for Tarleton. Came off the wrong part of the boot. Coorparoo clearing. This could be called deliberate because she was looking sideways.
Out on the full.
Out on the full anyway, so that takes the guesswork out of the equation. Impressive forward pressure from Bond. Lovely lead, just not able to hold on to it was Ivarak. Oliver wrestling on the ground. Coorparoo with more numbers at the contest. There will be a ball up. There was a hint of high contact at one point. Bit over 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. 7-point lead to Bond University in a low scoring but skillful and intense game. Roberts White. Della got onto her off the ground. This will be an interesting call. Gabby Della.
That's a 50-metre penalty there. The umpire hasn't seen it.
Running through the mark, wasn't my head to right. So Della, gets past Roberts White on the mark. This will be a high-scoring game with a wet ball. It's going to be a boundary throw-in the just next to the western post.
These slippery, windy conditions aren't doing either teams any favours with the scoreboard.
I will say, though, I saw a brilliant preliminary final goal scored at this end of the field by the woman next to me, where she picked up in the wet and then spun around to the left and put it through and changed the momentum of the game. Out to the side, Coorparoo is just going to go over for another boundary throw-in. The pressure from Bond unrelenting.
I think both teams have really increased their pressure this quarter. Like I said earlier, the heat of the game, that first 5 minutes of every game is always a little hot and a little messy, and now both teams sort of bring the pressure equally and fiercely.
Kick out of the contest from Tarleton, but the free kick had been given away. Might have been for holding off the ball. But Evans will have a free kick, 20 from goal. And Coorparoo, if they're going to get out of trouble, need to string about 3 possessions together, which they haven't been able to do for several minutes. Told to play on, and this one's not going to be a clean possession either, except for Harrington. Bond resuming the big attack. Crunch, about 30 from goal. Again taken by Harrington. Has the fearlessness of youth and the strength of age. High contact, Bond University with a chance, and just for a moment.
It was very courageous by the Coorparoo player, sort of running back blindly into that contest.
The Sexton, I'll say too far out to score, although her kicking has improved. Hands on the line will be taken by Riley. Just enough white jerseys in there. As she finds, I think, a Schneider, it is. The 1-2 is Zilke. Zilke has a bounce. Only she can bounce on a field this wet. Looking for goals on the right. Gaunt, rather. Sorry, there is a Galt who plays for Southport, and I'm trying to learn both of them this year before I make a deuce of myself. Boundary thrown in front of the grandstands, which I'm pleased to say have little circles in the seats, so you drain them so you don't end up sitting on a wet seat.
Bonnie, just go on. Go defensive for me for a minute.
Clears the contest. Watts, she's been involved today. Schneider does a 360, just gets away from Farmer. In the middle of the contest finds Zilke. Zilke out wide, finds Young. That's 4 by my count. Back inside to Schneider. Schneider to the edge of the 50. Read very, 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 very early by Piper Phelan.
Just again that theme of playing in front being so important in conditions like these, and Piper's done that really well.
She's another one who's improved a lot since you spent more time with the Lions and the Bull Sharks. As the tackling is fierce inside or just next to the centre circle. Harrington, she's been involved. Couldn't quite get it to Reeves. Ricocheting in the middle. Roberts White through the middle. Not particularly well aimed. Kaslar, a rare fumble. There's Gaunt and Garton, I'll get it right yet. Went back to Kaslar. Now they've got the numbers, Bond University. Phelan has a bit of space, uses it well and finds Johnson so calmly. Takes a bit more space, finds Harrington. Bit of tempo, although they might have a crack here as it just fell at the feet of Samuels. Good work from Oliver. Taylor back inside. Found Alira Usher. Samuels beat the tackle of Francis Bayman. Just swung away from Tarleton. May fall to her. Nolan's got there first. Nolan with a shot on goal. It needed a good bounce, didn't get one. But to me, that is classic 2023 Shannon Nolan. She was brilliant last week and she's shown good form today.
Chloe, push up. Run up.
Just see Bond trying to play a little bit of a tempo footy. I heard the call for 1 minute go out, and they were just looking for some safe options, staying wide and playing some controlled footy.
Do you think perhaps they just saw the opportunity for the counter-attack and thought, well, we may as well take it while it's there?
I think just a small skill error in the front here just caused them to panic, but they were so well set up behind, in front of the ball, that worked out okay for them, and Shannon and Lily working well together. 20
seconds, it's not inconceivable that Bond could pull something out of the fire here. Zilke not with her best kick, found Evans. Young clears, and that probably negates any chance of scoring. Gaunt just not quite able to get onto it. Good calm play from, I believe, Reeves. No, it was Bishop, apologies. And then intercepted by Young. 2 seconds left, so the half-time score here at Bond University Oval is Bond 1-4-10. Just the 3 behinds in that quarter, leading Coorparoo 0-2-2. This is the Anzac Day clash between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the Coorparoo Kings here at Bond University Oval in the Bond University QAFLW.
Hello everyone and welcome to Virtual Open Day live from Bond University.
I'm your host for today, Nick O'Hara-Boyd. I'm just as excited as all of you to be back home on campus.
We're taking you on a journey of epic proportions.
This is your opportunity to learn about all things Bond University. We'll be hearing from current Bond students as well as exceptional alumni living across the globe.
You ready? Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Virtual Open Day live from Bond University.
I'm your host for today, Nick O'Hara-Boyd. I'm just as excited as all of you to be back home on campus.
We're taking you on a journey of epic proportions.
This is your opportunity to learn about all things Bond University. We'll be hearing from current Bond students as well as exceptional alumni living across the globe.
You ready? Let's go.
I don't know if I'm right half the time. I just say what comes in.
What did I do? Right. And given sort of how Melbourne rose in the grand final, Welcome back to round 2 of the Bond University QAFLW here at Bond University Oval in Robina, and it's the Bond University Bull Sharks leading the Coorparoo Kings by 8 points. The one goal scorer in this game, Lily Tarleton, in the first quarter for Bond University. I haven't yet had a chance to mention the umpires for today's game, and the umpires are sponsored by Bradnam's Windows and Doors, and we thank them for their support of, arguably the most important fraternity in our game. You don't have games without umpires. In the field, we have Jason Mitchell and Belinda Marr. On the boundary, Riley Johnson and Jaden Mannering, or Mainwaring. I must ask him how he pronounces that. And in goal, Jesse Vick and Lucas Riley. My name is Daniel Viles. With me is Brisbane Lion Premiership winner Taylor Smith. Taylor, it's just stopped as I've finished my little preamble, but the rain did come back a little bit there. I'm interested to know whether you think the rain suits one of these teams more than the other. We're probably looking at a bigger, more experienced Coorparoo side, but a quicker, slicker Bond University side. Do you see the conditions today with the slippery ball favouring the dark blue or the whites in any way?
I think if you asked me this question in the first quarter, I probably would have said Bond University, but I do think Coorparoo have adjusted really, really well in that second quarter. Kind of a different look team in that second quarter. If you don't mind, but both teams, really strong in these conditions. Originally I would have said Bond, but I think Coorparoo really stepped it up in the second quarter.
You've made the point a couple of times, and it never really changed, that for some reason the defenders of both sides were getting in front of their direct opponents. If that continues, we're going to see a low-scoring game, really, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely, and this on and off weather is definitely not going to help. And like I said earlier, these greasy conditions make it almost harder than if it would just continue to rain.
Third quarter action, Bond University Oval, Anzac Day. Coorparoo in jumpers designed in 2020. They've been waiting to use them, and they look resplendent today. Lucy Schneider on the near side gets a clean handball away. Zilke on the left foot, which is as good as most people's dominant foot. Going low over the ball was, I think, Young, who's able to put in a good second effort on the ground. Get it away from Sexton, found Govan. Govan looking for Lamon. Fell through her arms, light foot, spinning out of the tackle. Now Coorparoo have numbers at the contest, 3-on-2. And they mucked it up. Apologies, the arm went up the wrong way. Binta Lamon, first year in the QAFLW, sponsored by Bond University. Different part of the university that has the football team, so it's all nice and independent. But Binta Lamon from Morningside originally. It's going to blow out to the right. It'll either be one or out in the full, just the one. So Coorparoo able to just squeeze the gap. Maybe they can win it in singles. It might be a day of minor scores, almost like Gaelic football. Able to play out the right. Outside 50 as the rain returns. McLaughlin hacks off the ground. Good attack on the ball from Reeves. She showed a lot of industry on her debut. Contest, bit of a moon ball from Evans. No one really able to get their hands around it. Bisher does her best in traffic. Falls on Evans. Says, hello, pleased to meet you. Ball up about 45 from goal. Ball up 40 from goal. It falls back towards Zilke. Coorparoo is still on the attack. They got the clearance early in the quarter. McLaughlin outside the 50. It will be another ball up. No flow to this third quarter as yet. A couple of minutes in. Frances Bayman losing the ruck towards Schneider. Schneider just knocked it in front of her. Had Lamon for support. Good play on the ground from Moody. And pulled out the back from Lightfoot. Tremendous work. Just over the head of Harrington. Harrington coming towards his northern side. Good bit of speed on her. Her left foot's not bad either. Comes back to Nolan. Cuts inside Oliver. Nolan. Not quite able to get the possession where she wanted to. Zilke goes wide looking for Schneider. Schneider's quick but not that quick.
Set up, set up.
Not a lot of plus ones, Taylor Smith. All fairly
Yeah, it's quite even spread. Early in the quarter too, so it'll be interesting to see what happens as it progresses.
With space at a premium as Farmer just got a fingernail to it to avoid giving away the free kick. Dunstan dropped it. That's enough. Coorparoo, chance to remount and attack.
Coorparoo have come out stronger sort of every quarter, really showing that they can string together a few possessions and enter forward.
Sustaining it for the 20 minutes might be the issue as Lamon lays an egg. Doesn't quite go over the boundary line, and the umpire was very well positioned. Knocked past Baldwick by Lightfoot. She's so clever in defence. Baldwick putting the tackle on. Cooper is still on the attack.
Sit on the other shoulder.
It was 13 points to 8 up at Maroochydore in windier but slightly drier conditions on Saturday night. So games having me in commentary this weekend have yielded, I think, 34 points in total. That's not good. Frances Bayman losing out. Dunstan really holding her own on debut against a very experienced sports person. Hands in the back. Bomb with a chance to clear. Good charge down from Evans. 50 games of experience there. Baldwick inside to Young. Young nearly gave it away. That was good play from Moody to pretend she wasn't trying to intercept. Farmer clears the 50. Good attack on the ball from Single. Oliver gets in there, tackled by Harrington. That's a throw. Harrington is all class. Ignored Nolan to her left. There's a spare in Alira Usher. Didn't quite get it right and kicked it to the most famous player in Queensland.
Ozuki back in the defensive role, already had 2 intercepts and it's only been a couple of minutes.
You're feeling more tricking someone half her age into a 50-metre penalty. That's just cruel, Emma-Zilke. That is cruel, cruel, cruel. Zilke.
That's be a double 50.
Well, I can confidently say that is the last time in history that Alira Usher will make that mistake. I think she just thought, I better not let her get away.
I feel like it's still a little bit of a grey area. And probably not taught so well at the moment. Coming in behind on those 50-metre penalties really
2 seconds, Emma-Zilke with the set shot. She was never going to miss. And for anyone who thought that Emma-Zilke was lost to this competition and may have kicked her last goal, we have just been treated. Emma-Zilke is a goal scorer on Anzac Day. Coorparoo finally with their first goal.
She'll be pretty happy about that one.
After the AFLW Grand Final that you and the Lions won in Adelaide, you may remember the young girl on the stage who handed Emma her medal and said, "Good game, Emma, you're my hero." I had a T-shirt made up with that on it. So I do need to pose for a photo with Emma. She'll look very awkward as I do it. But, you know, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm that kind of guy. But, no, wonderful day in Queensland football history. And it's the first time I've got to call the goal of Emma-Zilke. So if I could be self-indulgent for a moment, that was a big moment for me. Dunstan's impressed in the ruck. Bond retreating to advance. As long as they get possession, going backwards not a problem. Schneider on the ground, and they've lost possession. Govan able to hack it forward. It's going to go over the head of Lamon. That's, Reeves just dropped it. I thought she had it for most of the time. Baldwick scored twice last week. It's not going to swing. Minor score, but Coorparoo were behind Astley last week, and then Baldwick kicked 2 in a minute.
Baldwick's been very impressive today. Being able to hit contests hard, tackle pressure, and running off the back of contests for those 40 to 50 entries.
And only young, she'll be around a while. Don't know if she's in an academy program. Apologies for the ignorance. As Bond, under pressure for the first 7.5 minutes. There's Bisher.
It's a great contested mark, especially in these conditions.
Big raps on Kiara Bisher, and she's got into position a fair bit. Della is crunched in 2 directions, but she gets up. She's tough. Blue, brilliant tackle from behind. Ava Usher, that's not paid. Bisher again. The call from Are You Serious comes up downstairs, and I get where they're coming from. Sexton. Oliver through the hands. Contest with Ivarak. Ivarak with a second effort. Feta Hugic out to the right. Went through the hands of Watts. Taylor does well. Inside to Sexton. Sexton very calm under pressure with the, what would you call that, a wobbly barrel. Samuels. Sorry, apologies, that was Single. Fraser found herself with 3 bull sharks in front of her. Samuels takes the mark, but it was created by 3 teammates. Samuels, the left foot inside 50, was well weighted, but ahead of Tarleton was Fraser.
Blue's coming off quite sore from that. It's like potential knee injury.
She has struggled with knee injuries in the past, but when she gets to full season, and Zilke steals a possession, helped by Watts in the contest. Just overcooks it, Lamon. Lamon, not a lot of support, has Baldwick cleverly done to get past her opponent, but they will get out of trouble through Kaslar. Good play, keeps it. Oh, that's mark of the day.
Again, Bond with the supporting numbers. They've done that really well today, had multiple people supporting at each contest, each defensive entry.
And unfortunately, Charlotte Taylor had used up all her juice with the mark, was probably feeling a bit puffed up and kicked the ball straight out. So boundary throw in, northern side, true centre wing. The boundary umpires recognising it with a wet ball, although he gets some good purchase on that one. As Garton had taken over in the mark, and in the ruck, sorry, the number 59 shirt, has the ball again with the white ribbon. Knocked out, just Watts on the ground. Good work from Charlotte Taylor. Very industrious players both, and experienced. Garton with an easy win and does her own roving as well. Brilliant charge down. Usher, she's got the fire in the belly now. Goes through, Federhuggett at the back, gets behind Tarleton, shows good pace. And is able to get it under. Some skill from Nolan, and it does work in the, brilliant skill. Back to Taylor, breaks one tackle, over the head of Farmer. Farmer back, Zilke protected by Single, that's a feather in the cap of Single. Watts gets the rebound towards Lamon, has Baldwick in support, 2-on-2, creates the gap. There's a 1-on-1 ahead of her. Goes through the hands of Gaunt. The 2-on-1 is created. Gaunt, great pressure, but coming out of trouble is Lightfoot. And she's been superb today, so has Nolan. Nolan with the 45, maybe not the right time to do it as Riley was able to get in the way. Oliver to Zielinski. Zielinski to Zilke. To ZZ Top. Through to Garton. Farmer crashing through. Nearly caused the turnover. Gets ahead of Watts. Farmer again, good double effort until she kicks it away to Zilke.
I think Nolan's probably the cleanest player on the ground today. Really one touch, really clean.
Seconded, Chelsea win from a long way out. Needs to beat the contest, just hit the fingers of Gaunt. But Coorparoo, for the first time in the match, take the lead. The wind is pretty much absent at the moment. I can barely feel a breeze. I thought Reeves had that on the far side, just not quite getting the mitts around it. Lovely hand passing back with Reeves via Phelan and co. And then Ava Usher. Ava Usher, good body work. Bond will appeal for the fall, but I think that was just good body work from Federhuggett. She goes wider, maybe not the percentage play, but Oliver's able to pick it up easily enough. Keeps it low to Zilke. Zilke with the 45, looking for win. Through her mitts, good pressure from Alira Usher. Then the 2-on-1 as Farrell stands over. Help from Harrington. Harrington trying to extract it. A ball up. Francis Bayman back in the ruck, jumps underneath it, misses it. Wynn cleans up. Wynn on the left foot around. Just fell at the feet of Farrell. Say that 3 times quickly. Farrell perhaps being a little bit eager and holding off the ball, so Bond will clear. Lightfoot been a rock at the back today. Well positioned constantly. Through the hands of Usher. Ava Usher, apologies, just distracted there by a bit of legitimate noise downstairs. Della on the right, inside. Not sure that was 15, but it's called anyway. To Samuels. Federhuggett getting in the way, but Bond with numbers at the contest. Yes, in the back, that was too early. Free kick Bond, best chance of this quarter.
Bond just earned themselves a 50-metre there.
Yes, Della getting the better of Feta Hugic. Clever from Della, and probably well, it's the first mistake Feta Hugic has made today, I think. And I've seen Della kick a few goals from exactly this position on debut 2 years ago in round 2 against Coorparoo. Scored the winning goal late in the 4th from an even tighter angle than this. Gabby Della, former scholarship holder here at Bond. Been a procession of them. This to regain the lead for Bond University. She's done it. Gabby Della likes the clubhouse pocket here at Bond University Oval.
She's always been a very smart forward, Gabby Della. When she first joined Bond University, her leading patterns and her movement in the forward line was always something that I quite admired about her style of footy.
Is she someone that you've been able to, not mentor in the sense of constantly, but when you've been at the club, you've been able to teach her a bit of forward craft?
We actually haven't played too much together. I think the time that she joined, I was quite in and out of the Bond system, playing
early Lions days or Suns days maybe.
Yeah, just playing different, I think even Queensland potentially when she first started joining. And then playing in Bond, she was in the development squad at that point, and she's worked really hard and worked her way up into the seniors, so it's good to see.
Warning against Bond University for the 5-6-5, just with Mackenzie Farmer being a little late back onto the field. Zilke with the left foot. First misdirected kick of the day as it's taken by Alira Usher. Kicks to her sister Ava. There's a 2-year gap between them. Oliver, good overhead mark. Only her 3rd year in Aussie rules, Taya Oliver. Finds Watts. Ball seems to be getting drier, or maybe the players are just adjusting to it better. Blue back on the field, which is good to see. Lightfoot was able to get it away. Hutton, so good under pressure. She does that repeatedly. Nolan reading the play. Nolan on Oliver creates the possession for Sexton. Then Hutton. Hutton smothered by Oliver. Oliver getting involved and using her brain well. Feta Hugic back to Lightfoot. The numbers joined in, and Hutton helped Lightfoot win that possession. Inside 50, Harrington in space. Feta Hugic a bit slow to get back. Riley is there. Riley created the implied pressure. Through to Nolan, that was a throw. Harrington will argue, but I honestly did not see the non-holding hand get to the ball there. But an excellent period of play from Bond, which may not be over. Sexton tried to mark in front of Hutton. Around to Usher. Ava Usher on her bike. Goes towards centre half forward. Good punch from Zielinski because Samuels was ready to pounce. Playing on, it was well-timed tackle. Cleared by Schneider from defence. Zielinski. Outside 50. Has Samuels for company. Has no one else for company. Take a bow, Alexi Samuels. That's an important win. Samuels, 55 from goal, will need a couple of possessions. Oh, coming from the back was Ivarak. Nearly got there, fell to, I think, McLaughlin. Goes past Talent and Baldwick. The counter-attack from the Kings. Heads out towards Phelan. Blue charged onto that. Has a bounce inside 50. There's not a lot in front of her. Heads towards Govan. Govan will walk this in.
Great passage of play. As I mentioned earlier, Coorparoo are really starting to string together some great chains of possession, and that's an example of them being able to do that and what they are actually capable of, especially when they do get some clean possessions.
And really, I mean, that's the kind of play. We've seen a few counter-attacks start today, but whether the ball was drier than or whether they've just adjusted to it, they were able to hold it and keep the play going, whereas a few of those from both sides have broken down.
Absolutely.
So Coorparoo dominated this quarter, but we have to say that in the context of the last 5-6 minutes or so, that was completely against the run of play.
I think as expected too, it's a close game. The conditions playing a part in that, but also both teams starting to, again, string together chains of possessions and clear the ball.
Bond has the historical dominance. Coorparoo had it early, but Bond have been so good the last 3 or 4 years in this competition. Well, 4 years really. Sexton through. The clearance to the inside 50 was tremendous. The pass inside 50 wasn't as good, but Farrell come down this year from the Cara Swans. Just dropped by Johnson from the Northern Territory. Back to Frances Bayman. Gets the hand pass away. Difficult for Baldwick. Just ran away from her a couple of times. On the near side to Schneider. Beautiful tackle from Lily Tarleton. Beautiful from Lily Tarleton. She wasn't making those tackles 2 years ago. She wasn't putting in the effort running back. She certainly is now.
She's so athletic, and I think she's quite valuable when she does go in the ruck.
Excellent second option. Although, being a forward who can play ruck, that probably means more coming from you, I'm guessing, Taylor. Georgia,
it's a fun option, a fun position to play.
Georgia Johnson, about 40 from goal. Bond have attacked the ball hard since conceding at the other end. Johnson, we know what happened there. Harrington in space, wasn't expecting it, is going to be able to use it. Tara Harrington is a special talent.
Really smart as well by Bella Iverack, just in the goal square to hold her opponent out. Those are the small 1%ers that go often unnoticed, but yeah, very clever by her.
This has suddenly become a high-scoring quarter, 2 goals each. Bond went into the break with an 8-goal lead. A few minus to Coorparoo means it's now 5 points. But this game has no favourite. There'll be about 30 seconds to play once this ball goes up. And Taylor, thank you for the lesson about forward craft with noticing Bella Iverack. Commentators tend to look for the glory play, and it's only the people who know. Back to just a bit of holding off the ball. Zilke perhaps noticing where everyone was and thought, no, if I put the hit on here, I'll get away with it.
She's played every position on the ground today.
Except ruck.
Except ruck.
Which is a different species anyway, really, isn't it?
I wouldn't even be surprised if she ended up there at one point.
It's a very good point. Excellent work in the ruck from Tarleton. That'll bring the third quarter to a close. The game got very entertaining very quickly. Bond University 3-4-22. Their goals to Della, Tarleton and Harrington. 2 goals for Coorparoo to Zilke and Govan. We've got a cracker of a final quarter coming up. This is Anzac Day, the first University QAFLW Anzac Day clash. We hope this will become a long-standing tradition. We'll see you again in 3 or 4 minutes for what we hope to be an enthralling final quarter.
I took the liberty to do the obvious thing to do, so hopefully I'm not going to see the demarcation. Once you step here,
No, they still haven't been coming through.
It's that connection.
focused team, the Bond University Bull Sharks. They lost the lead a couple of times in that quarter, but they finished the quarter with it. They lead by 5, which is 3 down on their lead at the half-time break. The rain has returned, which will make things more difficult for the players and a lot less pleasant for my co-commentator, Taylor Smith. Taylor, I'm sorry, I did order better weather. It didn't come through, but you can now look at old-time commentators in the eye and say, yes, I've suffered too.
Yes, I definitely wasn't expecting to basically be sitting in the rain, but here we are, and we're enjoying it.
That's the attitude. Your coach would expect nothing less. 20 minutes left. The inaugural Anzac Day clash in the Bond University QAFLW. As Tarleton continues in the ruck, gets a very good pass out to Ava Usher, who's been impressive on debut. Will need to be cleaned up at the back, and it has been by Schneider. Sorry, that's Schneider. Apologies for the misidentification. So Schneider comes left, looking for Govan. Oh! A Falcon, and that's actually hurt. Normally, you laugh at a Falcon. I'm not going to laugh at this one. And because the player's down, we are going to have a stop in play.
The wet footy is definitely a lot heavier and harder and hurts a lot more than you think. So I can imagine that was quite painful for Lightfoot. I'm not sure if she's copped an elbow as well, potentially.
It's possible. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you double tap quickly on the left-hand side of the screen, you go back 10 seconds. So if you need to have another look at it and then zip forward, do that. Janae Govan down and just behind her as well. Sorry, Taylor.
Actually, it looks like Lightfoot might have been out there for a little moment, but she's coming sort of back to now.
It's a little bit scary. What we'll do in these situations is we'll let the medical staff take care of her. We're obviously very concerned for Paris, but we don't want to focus on it and become macabre. 20 minutes per quarter in here. We don't have time on in this competition until the finals. It's just a flat 20 minutes. And yes, Lightfoot, a stalwart of this club, played her 100th game last year, was moved forward. Unfortunately, didn't kick a goal that day, despite pretty much the last quarter, every single shot being given to her, and she just couldn't get close enough for in position. So Bond University by 5. Again, they had a very, very heavy win against Maroochydore last week, who had a difficult off-season. We will get to see Aspley next week on the live stream, and by next week I actually mean in 4 days' time on Saturday. Southport versus Aspley at Fankhauser Oval. And then in 2 weeks' time we'll be back here for the Shark Stoush between Southport and Bond University. And hopefully we get to see Paris Lightfoot on that day, because she's brilliant to watch. She's been brilliant today. And in a game that's had a lot of good defensive players cleaning up at the back, Arla Feder-Hugic being one, Ari Riley, also Piper Phelan's done some good work, but I think Paris may have outdone all of them today in the sense of cleaning up at the back.
She's such a reliable player, Paris.
And of course a reserve grade captain in 2021 when had trouble getting into the first grade side, so she thought, okay, I'll just captain the reserves. Lands in the breadbasket of Sexton. Lemon just flirting with the 50 there. A bit of collision between Sexton and, oh, that's a good effort at the second attempt from Ava Usher. Pulled off it by Blue. There's been pulling off the contest, and the free kick will go to Bond.
Unlucky not to get played the mark there, but rewarded now with a free kick.
Yes, all's well that ends well, but so Ava Usher goes inside 50. Bit of a wobbly kick. Oliver does well. No one on the mark. Oliver will come wide. Good work by Usher again. She's clearly got a good set of hands. I'm looking forward to seeing her in drier conditions later in the year. As Hutton goes inside to Nolan, who nearly took a mark against players multiple times her size. Ivarak putting pressure on Farrell. Falls loose inside 50. Hacked out by Feder-Hugic. Ava Usher, as I say, in dry conditions with a lighter ball. Did that go high? Yes, it did. So Bond getting a free kick they may not have expected. Govan, I think, just slipping high. Ava Usher, much sweeter kick on this occasion. Just fell in front of the advancing forwards in Samuels and Single.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there by the Bond forwards. If timing their leads and having one sort of after the other might have been a bit more beneficial in that situation.
I find a lot of younger players are a little bit sort of overawed to yell in that situation and actually demand the footy. Went back to Johnson. Good tap back from Tarleton. Farrell had to remember which way she was going. Stolen by Ivarak through the middle. Flick back, Harrington. She's already got one today. You can double that.
Again, just talking about that forward, that full forward, just holding out their defender and allowing those shots to go through. Second time that that's happened for Bond Uni today and proved quite effective.
It's the kind of thing that umpires and commentators notice. It's interesting when you see the Zilke medal votes compared with things that we say in the commentary box compared to when the coaches name their best. And they've all noticed different things. But I think what you're picking up now, which says to me that you are a future coach, and I won't accept anything other than that from you, is that, no, picking up on things like that in the goal square. Just going back to the obvious at the moment, with Tara Harrington, 2 goals and 1 near miss when she's had very little space in the forward 50. Tarleton moving into ruck has been very, very effective, neutralising Frances Bayman. Goes past her now, back to Baldwick. Hacks it forward to a one-on-one. Blue was beaten. Some excellent work by Piper Phelan, who's outsized but not outsped. Through to Sexton, some lovely hands in wet conditions. Well read by Zielinski, got ahead of Samuels. Found Wynn on the wing. She goes forward to a one-on-one. Lamon just had it fall through the fingers. That was Reeves. Tarleton again, rucking, roving, and then biting off more than she could chew was Reeves. Coorparoo ball will go to Frances Bayman.
Lamon's been quite effective for Coorparoo today. Really good in the contest, really strong, and got a great kick on her actually as well.
Again, I'm looking forward to seeing her in dry conditions kick a monster. I think she's got one in her. That was a little bit sloppy from Garton. Just very poor ball control, unfortunately. She's better than that. So Tarleton is able to twist away. Bond seem to be running a little bit harder than Coorparoo at the moment. Testing conditions. The mark's been paid, I believe. It's playing on his single. Single, this up. Again, she can kick better than that, and that'll just be a boundary throw.
I think she surprised herself by that mark and then was kind of a bit worried about what was to do next and just sort of fumbled it.
That's where you need a more experienced player in the front 5 just to go stop, steady, and didn't quite have that in her ear. Govan was both in pain and giggling as she came off the field there. I'm not sure what's happening, but Evans is on. The boundary throw-in beats everyone. And we're going to have it again, simply because the boundary throw-in was too good.
I think, like you said before, the move of Tarleton and the ruck has really helped Bond increase their clearances.
And she's athletic, and the word is that she's fitter than she's been in previous years, and fourth quarters where you prove things like that. Good work from Feta Hugic, and then I think early contact. And Lexi Samuels will have a chance to numerically ram home Bond's advantage in this quarter. It's a 12-point lead already. 18 in these conditions. May just be a winning lead. Hasn't scored yet in the Bond University QAFLW, Lexi Samuels. Looks high enough, but across the face and ends up with not a sausage. A 12-point lead to Bond happened very quickly. They have dominated this quarter. I don't recall Coorparoo getting in front of halfway, never mind inside 50. Boundary throw-in of good quality. The battle to get possession is fierce. Feta Hugic has not stopped trying. Was able to get rid of it to Evans. Has Taylor on her back. Hit the deck. Not able to keep her feet. Knocked out by Johnson. Running into trouble was Wynn. And Charlotte Taylor will have an opportunity. Worked hard all day. May get a bit of glory here. Appears to be looking short. Not a noted goal kicker, Charlotte Taylor, but she's better than that. Oliver marking at the back. Coorparoo dodging a bullet. Better attack on the football from Taylor than her opponent on that occasion. Taylor goes centrally. Again, the marking is going to be difficult. Any mark that can get taken. Hacked out on the full.
Bond University doing really well to lock it in their forward 50 here. Both teams set up quite well, but Bond have a spare behind the ball, so I think that's going to play in their favour, especially in conditions like these.
And to be honest, if Coorparoo get it, they don't really have a loose player to be able to knock it out of there. Went past a couple of Coorparoo players. In space, Johnson. She's hooked it. Just fell behind. Coorparoo have a 3-on-1 at the back. Farrell. But even now, not properly cleared. Ivarak. Flung to ground, but it will just be a boundary throw-in. But no, I think it's your side, the Brisbane Lions, have taught the women's football world forward 50 pressure makes you successful. I think every club is copying you now.
It's definitely something that we've probably focused on. Just, I think it makes a massive difference, as you can see here in Bond University's ability to do so as well.
There's Taylor.
Pressuring that kick on the way out.
Absolutely right, Taylor Smith. There's Charlotte Taylor. Pumps it in, doesn't go for glory, but kicked to a 1-on-3. Not able to be held, and perhaps kicking to contest when the ball is slippery means you're giving yourself a 50-50 all the time. And with a 12-point lead, the clock's on your side. And Bond traditionally run out games well. Goes to Johnson. She's worked hard today again. The mark dropped. Forward, Zielinski's kick is blocked. Back to single. Roberts White putting pressure on. Again hacked in, but it's going to be easily taken at the back by Farrell.
Really, this is all Bond really need to do right now. They just want to hold it in their forward 50, wind down the clock and take the 12-point win. Evans
was on the ground again. Bond get it back. Sexton, single. Dunstan moved out of the ruck, but still having an influence. Dancing was Moody. Moody inside 50, falls in the arms of Johnson. Too far out to score, and I think it was touched on the way through. Couldn't get around Oliver. Zelke. You suspect that she's going to have to cause something to happen. Inside towards the goal square. Farrell at fullback. Was a full forward at the Curragh Swans, but very versatile according to Coorparoo coach Beck Randazzo. Benzalaman. Okay, chance for a counter-attack for Coorparoo, except it's been kicked to a none-on-one, basically. Is that the back? That's Moody. Inside to Phelan. Very, very calm play. No way she'll drop that mark on a dry day. I realise it sounds like we're making excuses, but honestly, I don't want people judging the handling skills by what they're seeing right now. Plus one up forward. Good play by Usher. Read that early. Finds Hutton on the wing. Such a good outside midfielder. Kick smothered. Schneider put the tackle on her opposite number in Usher. It's getting fierce. McLaughlin with the tackle. That's been knocked out the side. Nolan asking questions whether she was hit before the ball. She has a point, but I don't mind the umpire's decision. Bit over 7 minutes remaining. Gaunt just getting in front of Dunstan. Wynn had Harrington on her straight away. Ava Usher was looking, okay, not held in by Della, but that's about as well as you can act in those situations.
Yeah, not bad. Just again, taking the territory, winding down the clock. Smart move by Usher.
Do you practice acting that the ball's in and that you're trying to get rid of the ball in the contest? Is that a training session?
Not personally. Not something I practice.
Bond University in control, both on the scoreboard and territorially. Tarleton gets Nolan in the ankle, which, given how short she is no mean feat. Out to Usher. Forward, had to attack that ball. Zielinski did well. She will play a lot of top grade this year. Looked very good on the halfback flank today. And we'll learn a lot with people like Riley and Zilke back there. Centrally, excellent attack from Hutton. Creates a turnover for Nolan. Nolan gets her skates on. Player by herself. Falls through. Not quite able to get to the target. Samuels running onto his single. Zielinski gets her body in the way again. Good work from Fraser as well to tie it up. But the Bond University game plan working to perfection.
I think Hutton and both Phelan and both Hutton have proved to be really reliable for the Bond University team today.
As Evans crashes through, no argument from me. Cleared by Schneider. Some of the Bond faces just thinking, okay, our chances are running out. Even that was blocked by Reeves. Baldwick getting involved. Bisher taken away by Alira Usher. Nolan falls to her. The hand pass, good work on the ground from, I think, Johnson. And there'll be a ball up on the 50. Even here at Coorparoo, are able to get it not quite to halfway. Bond repelled. How are Coorparoo going to get it out? There are no loose players. Johnson, Francis Bayman attacked the foot legitimately and then puts the tackle on.
Coorparoo have got sort of all their players around that contest, and Bond have now got about 2 spares sort of behind the ball.
And yeah, it's not supposed to be the team that's 12 points in front that has the spares. Falls to Alira Usher. Tackled again. That looks like McLaughlin. Tackling machine McLaughlin. I'm predicting a big hit year from her and Chelsea Wynn. They've both really worked hard in the off-season, and their pre-season form looked excellent. They may finish on the losing side today, as that's called a throw. Coorparoo. They need to score twice. You would think that one of them has to be now. Trying to make sure they make the most of this. They're going to keep it wide. Evans was I think Bond had 3 extra at the contest, and it falls to Sexton, thanks to some good work from others in the contest. Zielinski attacked, had the numbers. Roberts White clears, looking for Blue, goes over the back of Phelan. Blue. At Southport last year, she soccered the ball 60 metres and still regained possession. She's doing the same here. She actually is a soccer player. Brilliant work to track her from Phelan. That'll be below the ankles, and so she'll get a free kick. I was talking about Blue all the way up there, but how about Phelan tracking her? Bond's last test. If they can clear the defence here, you would think they'd be fine. Good recovery from Ava Usher. The Usher sisters, apart from giving away the 100-metre penalty, have been very impressive today. And even that's a story to tell the kids. Nolan 1-2 with Taylor. Nolan over the top. That'll go inside 50. If they play on quickly, Ivarak, there's a 2-on-none ahead. I think the kick's gone slightly too far. Excellent work to get in front from, I think, Feta Hugic. It was Fraser on that occasion. Apologies. Taylor on the ground. She's worked hard. In fact, she's got more involved the longer this game's gone. Ball up, 35 from goal.
That was brilliant foot skills by both Shannon, Nolan and Ava Usher, just to sort of string together a few possessions.
No, the younger players for Bond have stood up. Oliver at the back. They may not be finished. 3 minutes to go, and they've been more or less camped. Sexton got the kick away just as the whistle went. I will say, Taylor, that with all of the experienced players leaving Bond this year, like Katie Thorne and Annie Muir going to Box Hill and Crystal Scott retiring, I thought this might have been a rebuilding year for Bond, and they nearly snuck under the radar until they killed Southport in a pre-season match, and then suddenly it was like, oh, hang on, they've got something here.
I think they've been building a lot of young talent for a while, even sort of a few years ago whilst I was playing here through the development league, so it's good to see a lot of those girls progressing and getting that opportunity to play some really quality senior footy.
As Roberts White tracks it out towards the 50-metre boundary to be a throw-in, and the relationships that Bond has intentionally built up with both Burleigh and Broadbeach junior clubs. I think Harrington's from Broadbeach. The Usher sisters, I'm pretty sure, are from Burleigh. Samuels and Single are from Burleigh.
Chelsea!
I think Bishop might be another Broadbeach one. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. So Cooper are able to clear, but only 2 minutes left. Put it this way, if they can score twice in 2 minutes, they'll make a DVD out of this game. If you don't know what a DVD is, ask your granddad. Inside Harrington. That's going to go out of bounds.
There's 2 minutes left on the clock, so Bond University again being able to trap that ball in their forward half.
So a big win last week, but I think they would have been looking Andy Lovell and his coaching staff. And if you recognise the name Andy Lovell, yes, he played for Melbourne and West Coast, but he's also been coaching for 25 years and very experienced and getting more experienced in women's footy. As Taylor puts it inside 50. Just ran away from the defence. There may be a chance here for Usher. Just lost her footing. She got a knock, but it was legitimate. Good fend from Zielinski. Rugby league style. Out to Zilke. Just falls through the hands, and even there was a little bit of lack of energy there, and that's not really a criticism, it's just a reflection of the state of the game. Farmer. She's been good at moments during this game. A floaty kick taken by Evans. And if you're going to lose your 50th game, finishing it with a brave mark and then you're getting bumped is not a bad way to do it. Through Sexton, running into Baldwick at the same time. Less than a minute to go. Taylor, please start thinking about your 3-2-1s because I enjoy putting you on the spot. but I also trust you to make a good judgment because you've been doing that all day. Baldwick knocks it out to Schneider. Coorparoo know they can match it with the big teams, and Bond know they can beat the big teams. Good work from Reeves through the contest. Well, I thought it was. I think she can be proud of her work even though she's given away the free kick. So Binta Lamin on her bike, shows a bit of speed, runs the full 15. Up towards the 50, not quite taken by Phelan. On the ground was Farmer, out wide to Hutton, who's been very impressive today. She's a good outside midfielder and has been for the past 2 years as well. Just dropped by Samuels, who has shown herself to be right at home in the top grade today. Watts kicks it away. Bond University have been tested today, and they've come through it to win the inaugural Anzac Day clash. I'll go to Taylor Smith in a moment. The goal scorers today for Bond University, 2 for Tara Harrington, 1 for Gabby Della, 1 for Lily Tarlinson. For Coorparoo, goals to Emma Zilke and Janae Govan. Congratulations to Coorparoo and particularly Rebecca Randazzo, their coach, for proposing this Anzac Day match, and to Bond University for accepting the offer and then hosting it in appropriate style with appropriate solemnity. But sport is an important part of the Anzac Day commemoration. They've been doing it since 1916, the very first one, and the Bond University QAFLW is pleased to have a legitimate part of it. Taylor Smith, your thoughts on the game, and if you can name a top 3 sort of Zilke votes for the game, please do.
First of all, you've called the game perfectly. You said 12 points to Bond University, so you've hit the nail on the head there.
I forgot.
I'm just going to go 3 for each team because I think the contest was so even and it's hard to just sort of pick 3 people individually. So I think from Coorparoo, Emma Zilke's definitely lived up to her name. She's played exceptionally well today. She played in all 3 positions, all 3 areas of the ground. She's played midfield, defence and forward, so she's definitely in there for me. I think Lara Blue was really exceptional as well. She played both midfield and defence. And Baldwick again, I think her name pops up quite often, but just super reliable player for Coorparoo. And then for Bond University, I think Ava Usher was exceptional, so skillful, and the combination of her and Shannon Nolan just worked really, really well for Bond University today. And then I think maybe sort of as a tie, I'd go Piper Phelan and Georgia Hutton. I think, again, just such textbook players, clean, reliable, and those 2 work well together as well.
Look, first of all, I approve of your decision to cheat by naming 6 players. That's completely appropriate, and I have no problems with that. So, just quickly, I'll give my 1 point to Georgia Hutton. I love watching her outside play. 2 points to Arla Feder-Huggett from Coorparoo, who I thought played a very important role in defence. For me, my best on ground was Tara Harrington, and she still would have been best on ground even without the 2 goals. I thought the way she was able to do a job at half forward and then do a job in the middle of the park as well, I'm really enjoying her career so far. Games old. That is where we'll leave the coverage of the Bond University QAFLW. We hope you've enjoyed the very first official Anzac Day clash this year at Bond University. The plan is that the same 2 teams will play on Anzac Day next year at Giffen Park at Coorparoo. Bond University win by 12. My thanks to Taylor Smith. My thanks to Riley from Double Take Sports. Please join us on Saturday for the match at Southport between the Southport Sharks and our first look in 2023 at the Aspley Hornets. Look forward to your company then.